for joining us on today's episode of the program From the Territory, reaching you live from the Unity Station, NTA Channel 5, Abuja. Today's episode promises to be interesting and exciting. We have messages from the pulpit, and we have also, as the Ramadan fast will be rounding up soon, we also have tafsir and other messages from that end. We also have international days that we marked within the week, especially the World Health Day. As we all know, health is wealth. We shall also take you a journey to some communities in the territory to bring you how the people over there are faring. These and more in today's episode. That will be after this break. Do stay with us. My name is Tessie Omiri. You're welcome. Thank you for staying with us. As believers, the years spent in the journey of faith should help the individuals follow the right path by correcting all wrongs. This reminder came the way of Christians at the Methodist Church Nigeria, Cathedral of Unity during the Sunday church service. Mariam George Jitobo reports at the Prelate Methodist Church of Nigeria, His Eminence Oliver Ali Abba, who was on pastoral visit to the church, also called on Christians to be in one accord, to love those in need, and always have faith in God. Meanwhile, the Prelate Methodist Church Nigeria, His Eminence Oliver Ali Abba, has pledged to serve his members diligently in spite of the economic and security challenges of the country. He made the vow during his first apostolic visit to the Diocese of Nyanya. Francisca Bile was there.
In line with the saying, give honor to whom honor is due, members of the Methodist Church Nyanya have received with joy and gladness the Prelate Methodist Church Nigeria, His Eminence Oliver Ali Abba, as he made his first apostolic visit as the head of the Methodist Church Nigeria.
He has stayed 2 days with us, going around the local churches, the circuits, dedicating projects, praying for us, and being warmly received by members of the congregation.
The prelate, who was a pioneer and pathfinder of the Nyanya Diocese from 1994 to 1995, pledged to consolidate the good works his predecessors started.
I'm not afraid of tomorrow, of this great nation called Nigeria. You know, our God has said it already in his words. He said you hear rumors of war and how other people in other parts of the nation or the world are passing through, but you will not experience it.
My message to Nigeria is that we should continue to be prayerful and support the government in place. I am very sure very, very soon God will intervene in the affairs of Nigeria and there will be peace again in Nigeria.
Other highlights of the program include blessings on members of the church by the prelates, as well as singing of hymns and cultural dance. In Abuja, Francisca Bile, NTA News.
And away from the prelate's visits, members of Anwarul Huda League of Nigeria, Abuja, in anticipation of an encounter with the Laylatul Qadr, defied the night of the 27th of Ramadan to seek Allah's mercy and favor. Religious correspondent Abdullahi Ajia, who joined the worshippers during the session, reports that the spiritual atmosphere was used to pray for the nation to overcome her phase of challenges.
Believing in the potency and efficacy of praise and worship at one of the expected nights of majesty, members of the Anwarul Huda League of Nigeria, Abuja, kept vigil in worship of their Creator for the special reward of 1,000 months promised to those who worship during the divine moments.
All of us, we felt highly spiritually elevated, and because we know from the promise of the Messenger of Allah and from what the Quran has said, that this is a night whereby every good thing that we ask for will be granted by Allah.
All of us were here to seek for the Rahman of Almighty Allah. Pray for Nigeria to have peace. Once there is peace, the economy will improve.
I left the comfort of my house because I have strong belief that today Allah is going to have mercy on me and grant all my requests as He has promised those before us.
The all-night program started with a tahajjud prayer, invocation and recitation of the glorious Quran and other solemn moments as parts of the spiritual attractions. In a lecture that dwelt on the fear of Allah, prerequisite for social reformation, the representative of the guest lecturer established that Allah's consciousness instills total discipline and an ideal situation.
That it is when we are conscious of Allah that we'll be able to do the right things.
I'm really fulfilled spiritually because it renewed me spiritually. It makes me to understand more of what Ramadan is all about.
The congregation also prayed for individuals, leaders and the country to prosper and surmount all challenges at the moment. In Abuja, Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
Now to infrastructure development. The Abuja Metro Station is at 97% completion level. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, disclosed this during inspection tour of the train station. Onoze Yakubu was there and reports.
After having a feel of the train ride to and from the metro to the airport stations, the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike reiterates that with the level of work, the May deadline for the commencement of operation of the Abuja Metro line is sacrosanct.
For me, it's a dream come true. That we're happy that after all said and done, the metro line will be used for Nigerians up the continent. We're also putting up 3 terminals for the road transportation, and of course we're running out our own transport system, so that we'll be able to contain this one chance criminality we have found in Abuja.
He further reassures the resident that all the identified ongoing priority projects will be delivered on schedule for the benefit of the populace. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
And in line with the First Lady's Renewed Hope initiative and her goodwill gesture towards the Capital Territory, the Mandate Secretary, Women Affairs, and the FCT Coordinator for Renewed Hope Initiative, Adebayo Benjamin Lani, was in Mararaba to distribute food items. Hawa Gimba was there.
Speaking at the program, the Mandate Secretary, Women Affairs, Adedayo Benjamin Lani, says people of the FCT are so blessed to have Barrister Nyesom Wike as the Minister and Dr. Maria Mahmood as the Minister of State, adding that the dynamic duo are attracting a lot of goodwill and development to the Federal Capital Territory.
We dey follow Uno Road and we dey follow person wey dey construct road. Mr. Wike na Mr. Project.
The Southeast Coordinator Igbo Women FCT, Dame Anne Francisca Nosike, appreciated the kind gesture of the Renewed Hope Initiative and the FCT Minister, expressing the desire of the people to see their minister to enable them appreciate his efforts so far in FCT. Hawa Gimba, NTA News.
Good evening, glad to have you join us.
Thanks for joining us on Weekly News Wrap.
Thank you very much for having me.
And it is on that note we welcome you to today's edition of the program.
We celebrate creativity, lasting impressions.
There's no book stating that this is the role for men.
on the news.
On the news at 7.
Jama'a
barkanmu da wannan
Unity Station, NTA Channel 5, Abuja.
Would say have a lovely day.
You're welcome back. For a country to be economically prosperous, a government must implement certain realistic policies. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, stated this in a message during the 8th International Conference organized by the Faculty of Administration, Nasarawa State University, KEFI. Lesson on Fulani has details.
Recently, Nigerians have been experiencing economic hardship due to the removal of fuel subsidy by President Bola Tinubu's administration, which some people perceive to be a perpetual discomfort. However, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, in a message during the 8th International Conference organized by the Faculty of Administration, Nasarawa State University, KEFI, acknowledges the fact that the economy is in transformative stage, which the long-term benefit will be economic prosperity.
Of efficiency, transparency, and development. That's where we should focus on, and utilization of resources by government for the development and benefit of people. That's what the administration of President Bola Tinubu is aiming at.
Acting Vice Chancellor, Nasarawa State University, KEFI, Professor Abdullahi Modibo says the convergence of scholars such as this provide a platform for intellectual discourse, which gives birth to recommendations for policymakers to implement for economic development of the country.
I want to assure you that we are going to get all the support from the management so that we will continue to showcase our university. All our academic programs will sustain.
The theme of the conference is New Public Management in the Post-Subsidy Era, Re-Engineering Nigeria. From KEFI, Blessing Fulani, NTA News.
Let's talk about health. Catering for the health needs of a people as well as providing access to essential services backed up by implementable health policies are advocacies of the World Health Day. That is the 2024 with the theme, My Health, My Right. Cecilia Julius tells us more.
This theme for this year, My Health, My Right, chosen by the World Health Organization, is aimed at championing the rights of everyone everywhere, as well as have access to quality health services, education, and information. Residents of the FCT speak on their health service experiences.
I've been treated well, and their attention towards us and towards the patients is fine, it's proper. They take care of us, they're steady, they keep a specific nurse to take care of you, to check upon you, and they make sure you are being treated fine.
I feel it's okay. It is okay, and it is very necessary for me to know the well-being of myself.
Health experts on this occasion call for community-based health insurance and upgrade of the nation's health indices.
The insurance coverage in Nigeria as a whole has not gone beyond 5% of the population, and it is only concentrated in the formal sector. We need to extend it to the informal sector. We must have a regulating body that will ensure a standardization of the services that are being provided. Services that are universal, based on equity, justice, and fair play.
As a way forward, integration of health insurance across all sectors should pave way for accessible health care for all. Cecilia Julius, NTA News.
More from the International Days. 7th April every year draws global attention with a reminder to learn lessons that should not be repeated with the planet Earth from Rwanda genocide. As social commentators and peace advocates ask all to work for peace that unites communities irrespective of differences. Abdullahi Ajia tells us about this day and its observance.
On 23 December 2003, the United Nations General Assembly agreed to celebrate this day on 7 April every year. The day, globally recognized as the International Day of Reflection on the Genocide in Rwanda, remains one of the greatest nightmares to human life in Africa and indeed the world, where in just 100 days, 800,000 women, men and children were massacred in senseless ethnic and political cleansing between the Hutus and Tutsis, which was sparked by a radio broadcast.
Listen to me, good people of Rwanda. Terrible news. It is true. Horrible news. Our great president is murdered by the Tutsi cockroaches. It is time to clear the brush, good Hutus of Rwanda. We must cut the tall trees. Cut the tall trees now.
On this day, many people around the world hold memorial as a mark of respect for the innocent lives lost during the inglorious period. The day is also a time for diplomats and key community figures to talk with communities about the atrocities of genocide and the importance of working towards a peaceful way of life. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, in his message, urged all to be tolerant and embrace peace.
The only way to truly honor the memory of those who were killed in Rwanda is to ensure that such events never occur again. Preventing genocide and other monstrous crimes is a shared responsibility and the core duty of the United Nations. The world must always be alert to the warning signs of genocide and act quickly and early against the threat. History is filled with tragic chapters of hatred, inaction and indifference, a cycle that has led to violence, incarceration and death camps.
Our country, our people should develop attitudes that will help us be more proactive. When people start complaining, that is the point where intervention must happen.
There are so many violent conflicts around us, not only here in Nigeria, elsewhere in Africa, and all over the place. There are all issues of violent conflict. But we mustn't kill and destroy each time we disagree.
Experts say the historic lessons and the Rwandan genocide for countries and regions of the world is to nip in the bud early warning signs of ethnic discrimination and comments that incite one group against another. In Abuja, Abdullahi Hajia, NTA News.
Many thanks, Ajia, for that. It takes you an hour to maintain peace. Remember, peace is always priceless. Now let's take you on a short trip to some communities in the territory. Just like the saying that someone is in the river does not complain of soapy eyes, the dilemma of the people of Usma, the host community of the famous Usman Dam located at Buhari Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory, is a case of one and the same, as Odiri Ogboru takes it from here.
This third road was constructed 34 years ago when the government was relocating the Pewi people from their original ancestral home due to the construction of the Usman Dam. History has it that Pewi was founded by a hunter, Kushimi, from Zaria, Kaduna State in 1865. He decided to settle there because of the rocks around to create a cave. Pewi people are predominantly farmers. Pewi, Jugo, and Ampamwara villages were resettled here in the 1980s by the Federal Capital Territory, having sited the lower Usman Dam in the then Pewi village on their ancestral stream called Suma.
The government promised that since they are relocating us down here because of the Usman Dam, that they will make sure that they provide us all the necessary social amenities. Water on which we were resettled because of, primarily, is what we don't even have now. We have made several write-ups, call it whatever. Government has given us a deaf ear. As such, it becomes a problem. It has become a stigma, a problem to us.
Over there is the traditional burial hut for every chief that dies in this community. By my right is the official palace built by the government while relocating the people of Pewi to this resettlement ground.
We are the farmers.
when we see the way how the rent, let's say from March, we see the sign of the rent. So, farmer will start prepared for the farm. So our forefathers, they said, we need God blessing. That is why we are going there, to call God to help us. When rain will fall, we farmer will farm. If you don't farm, that we cannot get food.
More importantly, on this visit is the discovery that the neighboring communities of Bay, Jugo, and Pambwara still share the existing infrastructure, like the Primary Healthcare Center, LEA Primary, and junior secondary schools recently built by the Universal Basic Education Board.
The Constitution, when you want to resettle people, you make sure that you come back and be, checking how are they doing, what are they faced with, what are their challenges. But I'm telling you today, since 1988, February 2nd, nobody has come.
The village head of New Usman Town, Pay Village, David Elisha, appealed to the government to come to their aid. Abuja, Odiri Ogboru, Arutere, NTA News.
Thank you, Odiri, for that adventure with the people of Usman Dam. Now, are you aware that there is a community in Nigeria that runs a different calendar from the Gregorian in use? The community is in the outskirts of the nation's capital. Well, yours truly, in an adventure, I visited Pagada and I brought back Maximini's story about the people. Just take a look. Pagada, a hilly community in the outskirts of Gwagwalada, has been in existence before Nigeria attained her independence in 1960. My journey in search of this community began with a long walk of about 3 miles, which to the people of Pagada is a normal ride. After a journey of 3 miles, we arrived at the Tabe Mountain. And this is the exact spot where their forefathers lived. According to history, they migrated from Zaria during the slave trade era in search of safe haven, and they lived here peacefully for so many years. The Tabe Mountain at that time served as their home, hunting ground with numerous benefits. The baobab tree, also known as kuka in Hausa, is ionic to the people as it is the first food they met and used even for medicinal purposes. With the coming of the missionaries, Pagada people left Tabe Mountain to their present location. Rich in culture and tradition, the people of Pagada have a unique calendar different from the Gregorian calendar in use in the country and through which they observe annual festivals. December every year to people of Pagada is like 8 months of the year, that is August. A big cultural carnival is held here.
We met our forefathers using this calendar. April every year is our first month.
This is the grave of one of their ancestral fathers, Wezena. And every year during their annual festival, this grave is being decorated. And according to them, this tree has been planted so as not to forget the exact spot where the grave is located. Tuwon dawa is one of the delicacies eaten with any soup available. And our tuwon dawa is almost ready. According to them, the taste is different because it gives a different flavor and aroma. The peaceful and hospitable people of Pagada are predominantly farmers. However, the peace of the community was threatened in 2019 as a result of misunderstanding between the Muslim and Christian communities in the area. With all this beautiful history and the quiet way of life of residents of Pagada, this town became famous in 2020 as a result of this beautiful mosque, which was built by Muslim professionals in Da'wah, facilitated by a Catholic priest. The residents say it has helped in calming the existing tension between the Muslims and the Christians in Pagada, and now they are living in peace.
Shekara 2020 mun gode wa Allah sosai, wannan gari tana ci gaba sosai, wannan Pagada 2 tana ci gaba sosai.
At the day when I was in the office as the executive chairman, well, the mosque was established, facilitated by a Reverend Father, and that is a very good method of living. The religious faiths interweaving with each other is very important. It cements a relationship. It brings about peace in your community, in your country, and I always have this to say that peace is a catalyst of development.
Despite the community's proximity to the nation's capital, they lack basic amenities.
We don't have electricity, water, and we need good roads.
It is expected that relevant authorities will come to their aid in order to make life beautiful for them. Tessie Omeri, NTA News. You just appreciate the nature's gift to the people of Pagada. And it is from that nature's gift that we conclude today's episode of the program From the Territory. Thank you for watching. Keep a date next week, Sunday. Bye for now.